I'm here on Park Avenue, right by Long Beach Road, by some construction. Why am I here? Because of this week's Parsha, and because of Shabbos Nachamu, that is this Shabbos. Yesterday was Tisha B'Av, but it was also a day of sadness. We hope in the future that the 9th of Av will be a day of joy, as predicted by the prophet Zechariah, and we won't have to be mourning on the 9th of Av in future years. But since it was Tisha B'Av, we did say a bracha that's said only once a year. There are only a couple that are said once a year. If you know the others, let me know. We will mention you in the next one. And the bracha is Nachem. We ask God to comfort us. Because why? Because our beloved city of Yerushalayim is destroyed. Avelah, Chareva, Bzuya, Shomema. It's sorrow laid waste and scorned and desolate. And at the end of the bracha we say, Ki ata Hashem ba'esh itzata, Hashem, you consumed it with fire, Uva'esh ata asid livnosa, and with Eish and with fire you will rebuild it in the future. And we end the bracha, Bonei Yerushalayim, rebuilding of Jerusalem. There was actually controversy if this bracha should even be said after 48, certainly after 67, when it's hard to say that Yerushalayim is as desolate as it once was. Of course, it doesn't have the Beis HaMikdash, which still makes it desolate, and for that reason, most of us say that bracha. I believe Rav Goren, the former chief rabbi of the army and the country, felt that it should be changed. Nonetheless, sometimes we have to remember the desolation in order to remember the building. We can't appreciate the nechama, the comfort, the joy, unless we go through the Tisha B'Av. And that's why some people remember that the joy of Shabbos Nachamu is one of the most joyous Shabboses of the year, because we dafka just went through the anguish of Tisha B'Av. And sometimes when you build, like they are behind me, you need to destroy things in order to rebuild them. The case in the Mishnah tells us that when a tapestry, if a moth made a hole in a tapestry, you didn't just sew up the hole. You had to cut a little more in order to make a clean cut, and then they would recut and reset the tapestry and it would look cleaner. Because in halacha, in order to violate Shabbos, you have to do a constructive act, and not an act of destruction, but an act of construction. But in order to get to the act of construction, sometimes the destruction needs to take place. In order to truly feel the nechama, the comfort, we need to go through the Tisha B'Av, and that's what we can learn from building and the bracha of Nachem. Wish everybody a joyous Shabbos Nachamu.